The Patterson family reunion happened every summer at Uncle Jim's lake house. 3 generations gathering for a weekend of barbecue, gossip and thinly veiled competition about whose life was going better. I'd been avoiding it for 3 years, but Mom had guilt-tripped me into coming. You never see your family anymore, Maya. They miss you. What they really missed was having someone to look down on. I pulled up in my Toyota Camry. Practical, 5 years old, nothing flashy. My cousin Brad was washing his new Tesla in the driveway, making sure everyone saw it. Why? Long time. He didn't stop washing. Still driving the old Camry? Man, that thing's a tank. It runs fine. Sure. Practical. I get it. Not everyone needs the latest tech. Inside, the house buzzed with family. Aunt Carol held court in the kitchen, showing off photos of her daughter's wedding in Tuscany. Uncle Jim commanded the living room, telling war stories from his career as a regional sales manager. I tried to slip through to the patio, but Uncle Jim spotted me. Why? There she is. Come here, let me look at you. He pulled me into a bear hug that smelled like beer and cologne. Still working at that burger place downtown? The room got quieter. This was the entertainment they'd been waiting for. I work in food service, yes. Food service. Uncle Jim laughed, his voice booming. That's a fancy way of saying fast food. Nothing wrong with it, honest work and all that. But Maya, you went to college. When are you going to use that business degree and get a real career? My cousin Jennifer, a pharmaceutical sales rep, jumped in. Uncle Jim's right. You're almost 35, Maya. You should be thinking about advancement, building equity, retirement planning. I am thinking about those things. Well, good. Because fast food management might seem okay now, but when you're 50 and still working late night shifts. I don't work late night shifts. Uncle Jim waved his beer. Look, I'm just saying. Brad here is making 6 figures in software sales. Jennifer's crushing it with medical devices. Your cousin Mike just made partner at his law firm. And you're flipping burgers. No judgment. But maybe it's time to aim higher. My phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out, ready to silence it, but saw it was Carlos, my general manager. I need to take this, I said. Of course you do, Uncle Jim chuckled. Probably the shift manager wondering where you are. That's the problem with hourly work. Always on call. I stepped onto the patio and answered. Carlos, what's up? Maya, sorry to bother you on your family weekend. But I wanted to give you the good news immediately. Health inspector just finished the final review. All 47 locations passed with perfect scores. He's recommending our systems as the model for the state. My heart lifted. That's incredible. It gets better. The franchise attorney called. The expansion contracts are ready for signature. All 12 new franchisees are approved. If you sign off, we're looking at 59 locations by end of year. 59 locations. I'll let it sink in. What's the projected revenue? Corporate is estimating $82 million for next year. With your ownership stake, you're looking at personal income around $12 million before taxes. I leaned against the patio railing watching the lake. 5 years ago, I'd been an assistant manager at a single burger restaurant. The owner, seeing something in me, had offered me a partnership opportunity. I'd maxed out credit cards, taken loans, worked 100-hour weeks. Now I owned Maya's Kitchen, a regional chain that had revolutionized fast casual dining with fresh ingredients, efficient systems and employee profit sharing that kept turnover at nearly zero. Carlos, approve everything. I'll review the contracts tonight and sign tomorrow. You got it, boss. Enjoy your family time. I hung up and turned to find Uncle Jim standing in the doorway, another beer in hand. See? That's what I mean. Even on vacation they're calling you in. That's the food service grind. No respect for personal time. Actually, that was my general manager with good news about my business. Your business. He laughed. Maya, you manage a burger joint. That's not the same as owning a business. I own Maya's Kitchen. 47 locations across 4 states. We specialize in fast casual dining with locally sourced ingredients. Last year's revenue was $63 million. Uncle Jim's smile faltered. Wait, what? 47 restaurants. I own them. Well, I own 65%. My original business partner owns 20%, and we've sold 15% to key employees through our profit-sharing program. The patio door opened. Brad, Jennifer, Aunt Carol, and half the family spilled out, sensing drama. You own 47 restaurants? Jennifer's voice was skeptical. Yes. Started with one location 5 years ago. Grew through a combination of organic expansion and strategic franchising. We're profitable, well-reviewed, and expanding. Carlos just called to tell me the health inspector approved all locations and our franchise expansion can proceed. Uncle Jim was staring. You're telling me you're not a burger flipper? You own the whole chain. I started as a burger flipper. Worked my way to assistant manager, then partner. When my original partner wanted to semi-retire, I bought him out to majority ownership. Now I oversee operations for all 47 locations with 12 more opening by year-end. Brad had his phone out, clearly Googling. Holy shit. Maya's Kitchen. They're everywhere. There's one near my office. I eat there twice a week. The one on 5th Street? I asked. That was our third location. Still one of our highest performers. Aunt Carol found her voice. But you never said anything. You always just said you worked in food service. I did. I do. I just happen to own the food service business I work in. How much? Jennifer started, then stopped. Never mind, that's rude. Last year's revenue was $63 million. This year we're projecting $82 million. My personal income varies depending on reinvestment, but typically between $8 and $12 million annually. The silence was profound. Uncle Jim set down his beer carefully. $12 million. Give or take. Some years more if we have a particularly profitable quarter or sell a franchise territory. And you drove here in a Camry. It's practical. Good gas mileage. I don't need to prove anything with my car. Brad was still scrolling through his phone. These reviews are insane. Best fast casual in the region. Employee-owned model sets new standard. There's a whole article in Restaurant Business Magazine about your profit-sharing system. That article helped us recruit better managers. Turns out people like working somewhere they can build real equity. Jennifer looked dazed. I eat at your restaurant. I've been eating at your restaurant and had no idea my cousin owned it. The Riverside location? That's one of our flagships. Highest customer satisfaction scores in the company. Uncle Jim finally found words. Maya, I had no idea. I've been giving you grief about working fast food, and you're running a multi-million-dollar restaurant empire. Empire is generous. It's 47 restaurants. But yes, I'm doing well. Why didn't you say something? All these years you let us think. Let you think what? That I was a failure? You didn't ask, Uncle Jim. You assumed. Every family gathering, you'd make jokes about burger flipping and fast food. You never once asked what I actually did or how my business was going. Aunt Carol stepped forward. That's not fair. We didn't know there was anything to ask about. I told you 5 years ago I was buying into a restaurant. You laughed and said I was throwing away my business degree. I told you 3 years ago we were expanding to multiple locations. You said I should quit before I lost everything. I mentioned last year we were going regional. You changed the subject to Brad's Tesla. The patio had gone quiet. The whole family was watching now. You didn't want to know about my success because it didn't fit your narrative, I continued. You needed someone to be the family disappointment. Someone to compare your kids to when they weren't performing. At least you're not Maya, still flipping burgers at 35. Uncle Jim's face reddened. Tao, hold on. No, you hold on. I've listened to your comments for years. Your jokes about my burger job. Your suggestions that I aim higher. Your not-so-subtle implications that I was wasting my potential. And the whole time I was building something real. Jennifer looked ashamed. Maya, I'm sorry. I didn't know. You didn't ask. None of you did. But you were happy to make assumptions. My phone buzzed again. A text from Carlos with photos of the health inspection certificates. All 47 locations, perfect scores. I held up the phone. Want to see what burger flipping looks like? This is the health inspection report from today. 47 locations, perfect marks across the board. Our systems are being recommended as the state model for food safety. Brad set down his phone. I legitimately eat at your restaurant twice a week. The chicken sandwich is incredible. We source the chicken from a local farm co-op. Part of our commitment to quality ingredients and community support. It costs more, but customers notice the difference. I did notice. Brad said quietly. I just didn't know my cousin was behind it. Uncle Jim picked up his beer then set it down again without drinking. Maya, I owe you an apology. A real one. I've been a jackass. Yes, you have. I assumed because you worked in food service you weren't ambitious. Weren't successful. I'm seeing now that was completely wrong. The problem wasn't that you got it wrong, I said. The problem is you never bothered to find out if you were right. You were happy to believe I was failing because it made everyone else look better by comparison. Aunt Carol was crying now. We're supposed to be family. We're supposed to support each other. Are we? Because from where I'm standing, this family supports people who fit a specific definition of success. College degree, corporate job, impressive title, fancy car. Anything outside that formula gets dismissed. Mom appeared in the doorway. She'd been quiet this whole time watching. Maya's right, she said. I've watched this family diminish her for years. And I didn't stop it because I was embarrassed too. Embarrassed that I didn't understand what she was building. Embarrassed to admit my daughter worked in fast food, even though she owned the damn restaurants. Mom. No, let me finish. I'm proud of you, Maya. I should have said it years ago. You took a risk, built a business, created jobs, and succeeded beyond what any of us imagined. And we thanked you by making jokes. Uncle Jim looked genuinely remorseful now. What can we do to make this right? I thought about it. You can start by treating me like the CEO I am instead of the failure you imagined. You can ask about my business instead of assuming you know. And you can stop using me as your cautionary tale. Deal, he said immediately. And Maya? I meant what I said. I'm sorry. Really sorry. Jennifer stepped forward. Can I ask about your business now? Like actually ask? Because I'm genuinely curious how you scaled from one location to 47. For the first time that day I smiled. Yeah. I can talk about that. We spent the next hour on the patio, me explaining the business model, the franchise strategy, the employee profit-sharing system that kept turnover low and service quality high. Brad wanted to know about the supply chain. Jennifer asked about marketing. Even Uncle Jim asked intelligent questions about expansion and market saturation. They were actually listening. Finally listening. As the evening wound down, Carlos texted again. Forgot to mention. Restaurant Business Magazine wants to do a feature on the franchise expansion. They're calling you, the future of fast casual dining. Congratulations, boss. I showed the text to Uncle Jim. He read it and laughed, not mockingly this time but with genuine admiration. The future of fast casual dining. That's my niece. That's your niece who flips burgers, I corrected with a smile. That's my niece who revolutionized the industry, he said. I'll get it right eventually. Later, as I drove back to my practical Camry, Mom walked me out. You could have told them years ago, she said. Shut down the jokes immediately. I could have. But I wanted them to see me first. Really see me. Not my bank account or my business success but me. The work I was doing. The vision I had. And did they? Today they did. Finally. She hugged me tight. For what it's worth, I saw you all along. I just forgot to say it out loud. Say it now, Mom. That's all I ever needed. Driving home, I thought about Uncle Jim's face when he realized his burger flipper niece was a multimillionaire. About Jennifer's shock that she'd been eating at my restaurant for months. About Brad admitting the chicken sandwich was incredible. The best revenge isn't proving people wrong. It's succeeding so completely that their opinions become irrelevant. But sometimes, just sometimes, it's nice when they finally figure it out.